Okay, so with the increase in technology and the ability to access limitless amounts of information, we're seeing that electronic devices are being rapidly integrated in education. We're seeing many more classrooms where there's a shift from the physical textbook to electronic tablets. My topic is on replacing textbooks with tablets, and my proposition is replacing textbooks with tablets, especially for K-12 grade schools, is counterproductive. My main two secondary supporting claims, one, tablets cost more than the printed textbooks. Two, tablets are distracting. For my first claim, tablets cost more than printed textbooks. According to News Tribune, in a case study of comparing textbooks with tablets, Jefferson City Public Schools purchased almost 2,000 new iPads, 5 for every classroom, 5 for every elementary classroom in the district, and 1 for every certified faculty member. At $379 each, the purchase cost $750,000. Also stated from the News Tribune, the iPads cost the district about $379 each, but a high school textbook's average cost is about $70. So if we do the comparison, you can already see that the tablet, just the physical hardware of the tablet, already costs more than the physical textbook. So we need to consider purchasing software or the textbook online, and how the cost of that is also factored into it. According to educational financer Kayla Weebly from the Time magazine, who compared a physical textbook copy with an online version, she states a new copy of David P. Clark's Molecular Biology retails on Amazon for $104.31. Used copies begin at $40, and the Kindle edition is $39.99. With the $380 iPad tablet, and on top of the $40 online copy, the price is already at $420, which is, again, better than the $70 of just a physical textbook. We also need to consider the replacement or repair costs that go into these tablets. By navigating to Apple support for iPad repair, it lists that the out-of-warranty cost for repairing screen damage on an iPad is $249, which is $130 difference between the new iPads purchased by the Jefferson City Public Schools, and just when you think that the price could get any higher, we also need to consider the multiple internet connections that are necessary to access these online resources. So according to Evan Marwell, CEO of Education Superhighway, a quarter of districts pay more than $100 per megabit a month. And also stated in the Federal Communications Commission under Order Number 34 to 38, the order adopts as bandwidth targets the State Education Technology Directors Association's recommendation for internet access for schools of at least 100 megabytes per second per 1,000 students and staff in the short term, and so 1,000 students and staff in the short term, and 1 gigabyte per second internet access per 1,000 users in the long term. So with the short-term pricing and following the FCC's recommendation, $10,000 are spent per 1,000 students and staff for internet connection alone. Which leads me to my second point, tablets are distracting. Tablets contain distracting applications such as games. In a study done by Canada Research for Information and Communication Technologies in Education, researchers surveyed 6,057 students who were enrolled in grades 6 through 10 and 302 teachers about their experiences so far in using these tablets staying in the classroom. The same researchers reported that a third of Quebec students surveyed about using iPads in class admitted to playing games during school hours, and an astounding 99% said that they found the gadgets distracting. Besides games, students also have the ability to multitask by alternating between the class distractions and between the class instruction and the distractions. In a research published by the American Academy of Pediatrics on students learning in technology-rich classrooms, many teenagers report at least sometimes doing homework while using another medium, including television, 51% of teenagers, social networking, 50%, and text messaging, 60%, and listening to music, 76%. So as a conclusion, as we have seen, tablets cost more than the printed textbooks because of software, online textbook costs, replacement and repair costs, as well as the internet access costs. We also realize that tablets can be distracting with the accessibility to a number of applications. I again propose that replacing textbooks with tablets, especially for K through 12th grade schools, is counterproductive. Thank you.
All right, Jason, the structural material's okay. The proposition I thought was very clearly identified at the beginning of the speech, so there's a nice lead into that. The secondary points are laid out. I do think you need a smoother transition between the introduction and the first point, and then also when you get to the second point, it's a little bit abrupt. But I do think that it's clear what it is you're talking about. On the first point, on the cost issue, there are some assumptions made in your argument that I think might be a little bit problematic in the long run, but we'll let the refutation speaker talk about that. You're talking about a one-time cost, whereas textbook costs are often, you got multiple textbooks, that potentially reduces the cost. Of course, textbooks can be reused, so there's another issue there. So I do think that you've kind of oversimplified some of the information on the first point. However, I did think that you did a nice job kind of explaining how much the cost is going to be able to get access for all of these students. However, that cost doesn't sound like it's coming as a result of use of the tablets. It sounds like there's an FCC mandate in order for students to have access to this information, regardless of whether or not the school is providing them with tablets to substitute for textbooks. So I'm not clear that that argument is unique to the position that you're taking. On the issue of distractions, I think everybody sitting in here with their phone on right now can testify to the fact that there are distractions from electronic equipment in the classroom. So that's not a hard one to believe. The question is how big an impact it has, and does the multitasking and that kind of distraction end up lessening the learning that the students have? Is there any data that could support that? I thought we were a little bit thin on that. All right, I'm trying to keep it